Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the entire Great League meta. Today we're going to try to rank them all. We're going to have so many Pokemon available here, and this should give you kind of like a guideline towards which Pokemon you really want to have and which Pokemon are maybe not the Pokemon you want to pick up first. And so we're going to kind of try to rush a little bit through it here today because we have so many Pokemon. I can't have a in-depth discussion about everything here, but we're going to start off with Venusaur. Most likely currently the best grass type starter Pokemon, as the other ones kind of got nerfed, but sadly grass typing itself a bit tricky to run. A tier I think is looking alright though, maybe a little bit lower. B tier I think is a little bit more accurate for this Pokemon. Didn't really see too much success recently. Charizard, on the other hand, now with the recent buff, is an S tier pick for sure. This, by the way, for the GO Battle League, not for Show 6 Big 3. There are a lot of great tier lists towards Show 6 Big 3 already as well online, so definitely check them out as well. Here, Charizard deserves to be the S tier together with a Blastoise. So we are going to have here basically everything also, I think, based on the generation. So it's kind of even an order here, which is kind of funny. But yeah, the generation, for like the first generation starter trio are actually all really solid, and two of them are actually ending up in S tier. S plus is like top meta. S tier is like Pokemon that you really have to be careful about because they're going to be super good and you kind of want them. Pitta deserves to be in the B tier as well. Cool Pokemon, but kind of gets outclassed by some of the other fly here with the pack update like the Fearow. Fearow has great coverage, has a Drill Peck and Drill Run. Very good Pokemon, not enough for S tier, but definitely deserves to be there. Sensage, a Pokemon out of all generations, like basically a Pokemon that has been very good before. I actually would put them into C tier. I played this Pokemon recently, I really didn't like it. By the way, C tier is still playable, yeah. I already kind of sought out the Pokemon that I don't think are good at all. All Pokemon here that you're going to see on the list have potential to be played, like all of them have potential to be played. They're all going to be alright, so even if you're in the C tier and there's like your favorite Pokemon in there, that doesn't mean that the Pokemon doesn't have any play anymore. It's still a very solid tier. So. Nidoqueen with the buff, I think it deserves to be in the B tier. B tier is going to be where most of the Pokemon are it's like kind of the fringe pick where they're very solid, but like nobody really would want to use it. A tier is like kind of more like less usage, but still you can see them sometimes. S tier is a lot of usage, and S plus of course are like the top meta Pokemon. Sometimes you're going to see Kanto Ninetales, and it deserves to be in the A tier. With a recent update to Ember, this Pokemon is so fast, has some potential. I just don't like the coverage of the Pokemon. I don't really like the pure fire typing, unless it's Typhlosion where you're going to have access to Thunder Punch. But yeah, definitely an interesting Pokemon here. Deserves to be in the A tier. B tier is kind of where Ninetales is going to be. A little bit more of a play as well. Got buffed with basically with Charm as well as with Weather Ball, so it's a little bit cooler there as well. I think the typing itself though is not really great in the current meta. Unlike the first S plus tier, which is going to be wicked tough with a Charm change, I think this Pokemon is absolutely fantastic. I think it deserves to be S plus. It's maybe closer to S than other of the Pokemon on the S plus tier, but a bit wicked tough in my opinion is the first S plus Pokemon. S is absolutely Primeape. For me, close to S plus, like Primeape is one of my favorite Pokemon in the Great League. I think it really deserves the spot here, and it's going to kind of be a little bit better than Pokemon, for example, like this one here. We're going to have the Machamp. Actually, hope that I have the Annihilape in here as well later. I have to see about this, but Machamp got buffed as well with Rock Slide, but doesn't deserve anything in the B tier. Yeah, Annihilape is later on in the tier list as well. It's based on the Pokédex entry. Next up, we're going to have Dodrio. In my opinion, a little bit inferior to Fearow, because Fearow has, in my opinion, a little bit better coverage. Still an alright Pokemon to run. It's a very cool Pokemon to run with also the pack buff there, but I feel like B is kind of where it's at. Dugong, on the other hand, I think it's a cool Pokemon, has a lot of potential. It's closer to the S tier than most of the other ones here, but Dugong doesn't have the usage recently. I still think it has a lot of potential. A tier, in my opinion, also is Hypno. Hypno with a recent change to Confusion is so much better, has so much good coverage with the punches as well. Deserves to be in the A tier. S plus, no doubt about it, is going to be the first Marowak, while the other Marowak is going to be in the C tier. You don't really use it at all anymore. Has Flame Wheel, but just not really the greatest. But here, the Kanto Marowak is currently, if not even the strongest Pokemon here. Lickitung, on the other hand, it doesn't deserve anything more than B tier. It hasn't really had any play recently. Well, it got buffed a little bit and has great bulk. It's not really great against the current meta. Weezing kind of deserves to be in the B tier in my opinion as well. Has a great typing. With that, sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can use it, but it's not that great. Seeking, also only B tier. I tried it out. Yes, pick update made it kind of cool, made it into the top 60 or whatever for the Great League. it is closer more to like A tier than C, but like it's not a great Pokemon at all. Like it's cool as a Say-Stop, but the stats itself, no stab moves are kind of a little bit annoying for it. Next up, we're going to have here the Starmie, a Pokemon that I feel like should deserve a little bit of a buff again. Got buffed recently, then was like solid for one season, then the meta shifted towards Bug-type Pokemon, and now it's bad again, and now it's really bad still. So yeah, Starmie needs a little bit of a faster charge move and would be actually very good, but right now it's not the case. Gyarados, on the other hand, I feel like it's kind of similar tier than Hypno. It's a cool Say-Stop, it has a lot of potential in the Open Great League. Kinda doesn't have the stats for it, but it still has some potential. I like to use this Pokemon quite a bit. Closer again to the S tier than to the B tier, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of accurate. Lapras dropped a little bit this season. Last season I was mostly put into the S+. I think it's still an S tier Pokemon. I think it's kind of where it deserves to be. But yeah, I think it's kind of where Lapras definitely deserves to be. It's a very good bulky Pokemon. A little bit better than just the Dugong basically. It's more preferred than Dugong, and so it has to be one tier higher than the Dugong as well. The Zapdos is actually a cool Pokemon. I think it has more potential than people can expect, but I feel like a B tier is kind of where it deserves to be, while the Moltres is going to be our next S+. Galarian Moltres needs to be like something that you kind of have as a priority for PvP. It's such a good Pokemon. You really want to have this one. Dragonair really was strong as well recently. I think A tier is kind of more where it's at, to be fair. Same goes for Dragonite. I think both of them have some potential, but they're not really that common, and for good reason. Same goes kind of also for Typhlosion. Typhlosion, in my opinion, is an A tier Pokemon as well. It's a better fire-type Pokemon than most of the other ones. I like this one quite a bit. I think Charizard is currently a little bit better, though. There's another Pokemon that's going to be a little bit better, as you're going to see later on as well. That's fire-type, but yeah, I feel like A tier is where it deserves to be. Feraligatr is still S tier. Feraligatr is super underrated currently. Don't run the Share one, use the normal one, which is going to allow you to win so many more matchups. So definitely try to go for that one. We have Third next, which also deserves to be still in the S tier. A little bit lower in my opinion, but S is kind of where it needs to be. It's a very, very strong Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that you should have for your current GO Battle League team. We have here next up Ariados, a Pokemon from more ancient days basically. Cool typing, still has a little bit of potential, but like it doesn't really see any play recently. It kind of really disappeared, and so I don't think it's really that great. While the next Pokemon, Lantern, I feel like is a B tier for sure. I feel like it could be even A tier. Lantern has the potential in the current meta, has a lot of positive play with Water Gun, and the typing itself is very, very cool. Had a great run in the last regional as well. I think this Pokemon is kind of underrated in the current meta. Azumarill is S+ still. Azumarill is just so nice. It's a Pokemon that you really should prioritize building. It has been good the entirety of the GO Battle League. There was not a single time where Azumarill was bad, and that is kind of mad. Like, this Pokemon is the most consistent Pokemon in the GO Battle League, the GOAT of the GO Battle League. And I will most likely do towards like the winter time a series where take a look at the best Pokemon from each type for Pokemon Go PvP, and I think Azumarill is going to be definitely high up there for the water and the fairy type Pokemon. We're going to have here next up the Jumpluff, which is going to be only B tier actually, in my opinion. I think they're even better flying type Pokemon, or like better flying grass type Pokemon. I could argue that it's A tier, but I haven't seen it at all anymore with the Area Ace nerf. I think it's kind of not that great. I feel like A tier is still where it deserves to be though. I think it's still I think it's a bit more underrated. I think I can see this Pokemon getting a little bit more play again. Quickside deserves to be B tier. It's alright. It's alright. Like, that's all kind of I can say about it. Murkrow is high up A tier. Very cool Pokemon. One of my favorite upgrades so far. Super, super fun Pokemon to use. Fortress has a lot of potential as well, especially as a Shadow with a Bug Bite damage, but also now with Volt Switch buff. Sorry about that. We're going to have here next up the Dunsparce coming in, where we're going to have also another A tier pick. I think this Pokemon is also highly underrated. Great coverage against the current meta. Gligar deserves to be B tier. The Gliscor, by the way, is not in this list, but Gligar is doing the exact same, so I feel like B tier is kind of where it is. Got nerfed with the Aerial Ace, which actually hurts this Pokemon quite a lot, so I kind of have to drop it a little bit further. Steelix is still in the S tier for sure. Steelix is a very good anti-meta Pokemon. With Thunderfang still, it's going to be able to beat 3 of the current S+ tier Pokemon. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at. Coalfish, C tier, got a Shadow recently, kind of cool, but like doesn't really have that much potential with it. We're going to have C tier here next up as well, which I would put into the S tier. It's not S+ for me yet, but it's close to S+. Yeah, Shadow Scissor is a lot of like fun, and it's also very good against the current meta. It could be even S+, like it's really, really good, like you really want to have Shadow Scissor. Mangano, I think actually has a lot of potential. I haven't tried it yet, but with Ember, this Pokemon looks like a fantastic Pokemon because you get to the Rock Tomb so fast. And you're going to have Overheat as well. Great lead. Got me to Legend last season. It's a Pokemon that you want to have. Like, absolutely want to have this Pokemon. Corsa has been dominating the play recently for the Play Pokemon tournaments. I still think it's also the same for this for the Go Battle League right now as well. I really hope, by the way, that we get Show 6 Big 3 eventually as well for PvP here in Pokemon Go. But it deserves to be S+. I have to rush a little bit more through it because we have so many wild Pokemon left. Kingdra, B tier. It's a cool Pokemon, doesn't really have the stats for this meta. We're going to have here another Pokemon that got buffed quite significantly with the Raikou, which deserves to be in the B tier. Swampert deserves to be in the A tier. It's in my opinion, still the best the second best water and ground type Pokemon. Actually, sorry, there's another Pokemon that we have to talk about a little bit later on here that's going to be a little bit higher up. We're going to have next up Sableye, still an A tier pick, in my opinion, not S tier at all currently. The meta itself is just too normal and dark type heavy that it's kind of difficult to play this Pokemon. Mawile, only good in special cups. C tier in my opinion. We have the Agron's, pre-evolution Lairon here, which is going to be C tier. Sadly, Medicham, a Pokemon that dominated play for ages, is C tier. I can't put it over anything else there. Like, it's not the best fighting type by so many. It just deserves C tier. It doesn't have any play in the current meta. If you take a look at the S tier, basically all of those Pokemon can beat Medicham. Like, Medicham is just so bad nowadays, sadly. I feel like Medicham should deserve, by the way, another buff. I feel like that would be kind of cool. But Swallow is going to be next. I put it into C tier as well. I haven't really seen a lot of it, but I could actually see that this Pokemon has a bit of play, has great coverage, has Sludge, has Mudshot, has Ice Beam. And if you're going to take a look here, Ice Beam is good against the Moltres. You're going to have here, of course, also Ice Beam being super effective against that Marowak. And we have Sludge against two of the other S+ Pokemon. But just is not, like, it needs a bit of fast move in order to be really, really good. Torkoal, I'm going to put actually into the B tier. I tried it out. It was a fun Pokemon to run. Cool Pokemon to run. Don't think it's going to have play, but it's better than the C tier. I still think that Grumpig is going to have a bit of play as well, but I feel like actually Grumpig is going to be still C tier for me. Mainly because there are other Pokemon that do the job better. There are other Pokemon that do the job better, and they're going to be higher up, and I feel like Grumpig is just kind of so outdated. Altaria I can only put into A tier. It's not deserved anything else there. Like, Altaria is A tier for sure in my opinion. Whiscash, I'm going to put C. Haven't seen really anything of this Pokemon. They're just others that are better. Claydol, in my opinion, A tier. Closer to S though than to B. Claydol, very cool Pokemon, but S tier would be too much for this Pokemon in the current meta. 2 seasons ago, it would have been absolutely S tier. 2 seasons ago, it would be S tier. Didn't get nerfed at all. Just other Pokemon are a little bit stronger that are good against it, which makes it a bit more difficult to use it if you're going to take a look at the top meta. We have Azumarill, we're going to have that Moltres, we're going to have that Galarian Corsa. All of them are very tough matchups for that Claydol. Credilli is still S+. Credilli is not going to go anywhere. We're going to have 2 Carlstones, which I'm going to both put into the C tier. We have to rush a little bit through here because we have so many Pokemon here today. I don't want to bore you with stuff. Dusclops, S tier still. Dusclops is the alternative option if you don't have the Corsola. Dusclops is very, very good. I like this Pokemon a lot. Tropius, in my opinion, is a little bit better now than the Jumpluff, so I'm going to put it kind of similar towards it. But Tropius has access to the move Brutal Swing. We have Air Slash for the flying type coverage, and then you're going to have the Leaf Blade for the stab option there for grass. So I think the Tropius actually is a better Pokemon to use there. We're going to have Metang next, which is a Pokemon that I'm going to put into the B tier. More for limited metas. Has a very high rating on PvPoke though, and got buffed again this season with Gyro Ball. We have Latios. I have to put them both into B tier. I tried them out myself. I actually didn't release the video because I didn't have time to make the video. Was alright, but not great. Jirachi, I want to put S tier, but I have to be like a bit more honest. Like, I love Jirachi. Jirachi is the first Pokemon I had Legend with. Jirachi is going to be an A tier pick. Great shot moveset. S tier is just too high for it. S tier is too high for it. It's just a little bit too slow for it. Has a little bit of some awkward matchups. But actually, if you take a look at the top S tier, against 3 you hard lose and against 3 you hard win, which is kind of funny. So yeah, Jirachi has a lot of play though. Totara is A tier for sure as well. Very cool Mud Slapper. Empoleon, I have to put S tier, but low S tier in my opinion. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's very, very strong. Bastiodon is an S tier pick. Absolutely S tier. For Go Battle League, this Pokemon is fantastic. Closer to S+ as well. I would even put it very, very high here. Pokemon that's worth building currently, for sure. After the buff, after the current recent meta change, it's so good against most of the Pokemon in the current S+ tier as well. We have another A tier with Pachirisu. Got access to Hyper Fang. Cool move there. And we have an S tier Mud Slapper, which is going to be Gastrodon. Shouts to Lou as well. Know you like this Pokemon quite a bit, fellow caster. But this Pokemon is amazing. This Pokemon just won a regional. This Pokemon was so good in both of the regionals that have been played so far, but it's so good in the Go Battle League. It's one of my favorite Pokemon currently to run, mainly because of what it can do. You have Mud Step for the ground type damage. You have the Water Pulse for a lot of water type damage, which is great. You have the Body Slam in order to have like some kind of nice bait move, and then you have a great typing, which is only weak to grass. And it's like such a good Pokemon. Like honestly, it's a fantastic Pokemon and very cheap to build and very good to get. And it's like, yeah, get this Pokemon. It's so worth it. Trust me, it is so worth it. The recent meta shift made this Pokemon so good. We don't have here Drifblim. I still put it into A tier. It was S tier in my opinion last season. I feel like this season kind of is a bit more difficult as it has a worse matchup against the Wigglytuff. We still have the Moltres up there. It's alright. It's a good Ghost type Pokemon, but like they got a lot of good Ghost type Pokemon. We have here next up the Spiritomb. I have to put a B tier. It's a little bit of a worse version of Sableye in my opinion. Drapion. I still put a S tier, but low S tier. It's a Pokemon you really want to have. It's a very good save stop, but I feel like this season is a little bit worse for it. Abomasnow is a low A tier pick. I think it's kind of cool. Got a lot of buffs this season. We have Magnezone, a B tier. Interesting anti-meta pick, but it's very tough against like those ground type Pokemon with it. Licky, you don't really see it all anymore. Has to be C tier. Togekiss, on the other hand, I would put S tier. A very good Pokemon, very good upgrade this season. Deserves to be there. We're going to have here next Ghost type is going to be Dusknoir, in my opinion. Also S tier together with the Dusclops. They do very different things, even though they're kind of like same evolution line. One is fast move pressure plus good coverage for like the Pokemon that kind of counter you. The other one is just very, very bulky and has a lot of spamminess to it. So like very different Pokemon in terms of what they do, but they're very, very good in the current meta still as well. Giratina, another Ghost type here. Shouts to Martin, recently won the regional, but for Go Battle League itself, I would put into the A tier. Has potential, don't get me wrong. You can play it out. I was surprised how much damage actually the Dragonclaw is doing with this Pokemon, but like it doesn't deserve anything more than the A tier in my opinion. Cresselia is going to be next, A tier as well. There are a lot of A tier Pokemon here coming up right now. Cool Pokemon there. Superior is B tier, got nerfed quite significantly with Aerial Ace as coverage. You're going to have just a mono grass type moveset, and then you're going to kind of get walled by a lot of Pokemon. You're going to have here up next the Samurott, which also just deserves the B tier. We have Leavanny, which is C tier. We have the Whimsicott. I kind of put B tier as well. I got a little bit of a buff this season. Mainly lives here because of the typing it has. Very cool typing, very good defensive typing, or like generally has a lot of play against a lot of Pokemon as well with the attacks that you have. Crustle, nothing more than C tier. Sadly, it's not really great in terms of the typing that it has. Just cannot hit any kind of steel type Pokemon for any damage, and that's a bit of an issue in the meta where there are quite a few steel type Pokemon. Jellicent, A tier. I feel like S tier would be a bit too high for it. Ferrothorn, I feel like B tier is kind of okay. Actually, I was really good at the last regional in Frankfurt, which I was able to cast. But again, we have to see. Like, it's not that great in the Go Battle League, in my opinion. Stunfisk is an S tier. The other Stunfisk, I put B tier. The other Stunfisk looked actually so good right now as well, the Galarian Stunfisk, before we actually knew the exact stats for the new season. Before it looked like such a meta breaker, but now Dragon types are not as common as we expected. Steel type Pokemon are not as common as we expected as well with that, and so you don't have the Pokemon you really want to counter around. A better ground type though is going to be here the Golurk, which in my opinion is an A tier pick with a Shadow Golurk. You have a lot of pressure to your hands, so like it's a Pokemon you kind of want. Same still goes for Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is still A tier. I know it got destroyed kind of with the Aerial Ace update there, but the bulk is still there, and this kind of what sets it apart compared to some other flying and dark type Pokemon. I would put it below Murkrow as well as that Moltres right now, but just a tiny bit below Murkrow. Like literally you have so much more bulk on the Mandibuzz, which still makes it very, very solid. Dano, it's just a Pokemon that kind of lives off Sims. It's not going to be as great generally. I'll put it into B tier. Chestnut can go kind of into the general grass type starter tier list thing here, which is going to be the B tier together with the Superior and the Venusaur. The ranks itself are not, by the way, directly sorted itself. I put some there I think are a little bit closer to S tier, like further in the beginning, and some there I think are a little bit closer to like the lower ends, a little bit more towards the lower ends of course, but like they're not directly sorted. Greninja is an A tier pick. It's a cool anti-meta pick, but while it's my favorite Pokemon, I have to be honest, it's cool in a lot of matchups, but a lot of times, if you would have had a Pokemon like this with the coverage you have with a lot of bulk, this Pokemon would be fantastic. But there are so many Pokemon that have a lot of fast move pressure in this meta, that's kind of difficult sometimes to play this. Diggisby, I actually just would put into the A tier. This might be controversial. I could see like people being like, oh, it must be S tier. I could see that. I definitely can see that. Like, it's not that I'm saying like DGSB is bad here at all. I feel like it fell off quite a bit though with the meta that we have currently, to the point where I feel like A tier is kind of where it deserves to be. I could be wrong. It could be S tier as well, in my opinion. Like, this Pokemon, like, generally, historically, it's more S tier than A tier. Absolutely. Like, absolutely, it's going to be more. Sorry for cursing there, how could I? Yeah, absolutely more like the S tier. But I kind of want to put into the A tier currently. Still, all the Pokemon on this list are very, very usable, especially the first 3 tiers are Pokemon they can definitely use without even having to overthink about it there. Talonflame, together with Charizard, 2 different Pokemon, 2 different kind of ways of playing them, but they are both kind of doing a similar role, and they're very, very good at it. I think Florges is maybe getting into the S tier. I'm going to put it into the high A tier. We have to see on how Chilling Water is going to work for it, but I think it's a cool Pokemon with it. Pangoro I still have to put into the A tier as well. Kind of where the Greninja lives, because it has a lot of potential against the current meta. You just need to get the right matchups, and you don't have the bulk to survive the not so right matchups. Aegislash, I actually want to put into the low S tier. I think this Pokemon is actually better than people think. The thing is, not a lot of people have the actual XL version of this Pokemon, and with that, not a lot of people can experience on how good this is. I showcased a video with this Pokemon as an XL and with the Gyro Ball change, and it honestly looked like a fantastic Pokemon to run. Like a fantastic Pokemon to run. You have so much hard move pressure basically with this Pokemon, which is kind of amazing. I would put it into the low S tier. I can see people arguing that it should be even lower, even like C or B tier, but I think S tier is deservingly for an actual XL Pokemon like this one. Melomar is going to be our friend here, but Melomar is also going to be closer to the S tier, but going to be still A tier, a little bit tricky recently with a bug type update there. Auras, B tier, cool anti-meta pick. Dedenne, we have to speed up a little bit, I have to go even here. Dedenne is going to be an S plus pick, for sure, worth picking up. You're going to have the Carbink. Also kind of cool in the current meta. I like it a lot, kind of like Bastion. I'm going to put it into the S tier. It deserves definitely to be here. Goodra is going to be A tier. Kind of just to be there as well. Trevenant, C tier. Haven't seen anything good from it. We have Dartrix, B tier. It's cool. It just goes into the grass starter thing, like the other 2 as well here. We're going to have the other 2 there. They have all different kind of roles, but they all kind of are locked in behind the grass typing. I feel like grass types are just very difficult to run unless you have like Pokemon like Cradily, which mainly is the rock type, or like Sotera, which mainly does the ground type damage. Incineroar C tier, I played it recently, which the video is still going to come up on this channel, maybe today even, in the, I forgot the name, in the Willpower Cup. Was a lot of fun. It's not going to be that great in the Open Great League, especially if you take a look at the meta. It's kind of alright actually, but like it's not that great. Chatterbug, S tier. Absolutely very, very good Pokemon with a Volt Switch there. It definitely deserves to be in the S tier. This next one, Toxapex, actually deserves to be in the B tier currently. I haven't seen anything good from this Pokemon in ages. It's not great in the current meta. That's it. Like the meta currently is not good for it. It's going to be good again eventually. Arachnid, I kind of put into the A tier. I like this Pokemon quite a bit. It kind of deserves to be there. Next one here, Lurantis can go into the C. Again, we have Donald Trump there. No one. Okay. Anyway, we're going to see here the Lostheart next, which is going to be, in my opinion, an A tier pick still. It's alright. It's kind of definitely dropped down a little bit from last season. Turtonator, overrated, in my opinion. I'm going to put it B tier. I don't really like this Pokemon at all. I think it's not as great as people think it is. We have the Hakomo, going to put it A tier. We have the Como. I'm going to put it A tier. They both are going to be kind of alright there. I think that Corviknight deserves to be low S+. I think it's kind of where it's supposed to be. Runerigus, it's currently low S. Actually, this Pokemon is so good. People are now seeing on the potential of this Pokemon. Morpeko, A tier, cool anti-meta, not S tier. A tier, it's definitely kind of where it still deserves to be. Same actually goes for another grass type starter that kind of escapes the B tier, which is going to be actually the squishiest one here as well. This is with a recent update to the Leaf Switch, this Pokemon Meowscarada has a lot of play, which is kind of funny because they're just very good against the S+ tier, which you see there as well. Even against the Moltres, if you land a Frenzy Plant, you actually can win that matchup, which is kind of funny. Regidrago, low S tier, cool Dragon type Pokemon, has a lot of total potential there. Definitely kind of an interesting change there. We're going to have Skeldurge, sadly one of my favorite Pokemon that really doesn't have a lot of play currently. I put it into the B tier, I think it's kind of where it deserves to be. Dexbunt, kind of same. Bellybolt, kind of same. Then we're going to have only four more Pokemon left here for the tier list, and this is going to be it then. Toedscruel, a little bit high up than the Torterra, but A tier. We're going to have the Tinkaton, S tier in my opinion, lower S+, actually. lower S plus, I think is where it deserves to be. Annihilate needs to be S tier as well, kind of together with a Primate. Both of them are very, very good together, and Clodsire is an A tier pick. And this is going to be my ultimate tier list here for the Open Great League. I hope this helps you. This was a long video. There was a lot of talking. I think this is kind of accurate. There are some Pokemon that I would maybe change personally. I would personally put Ruinrigas, but I saw a lot of people having fun with that, into the A tier. The rest, honestly, I feel like it's kind of accurate. This is more low S tier for sure. Dusknoir, absolutely. Of course, this is low S tier. I think those are all low S tier on the bottom. I think just generally, those are the Pokemon you kind of want to focus on. Like the first 3 tiers are really what you want to focus for. The B tier is something that you can focus on if you want to have like a little bit more options for variety for team building. C tier is like currently like really just if you have too much Stardust on your hands. But you really focus on the first 3 here. This is kind of where you want to get. And this is going to be going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.